So Christie sides, I'm not joking, might ruin Caitlin Clark's career. And it's not even about like just today. It's just about her general attitude towards coaching and what she is doing, because she is neither focusing on developing young players nor is she focusing on winning. There are some blind spots in her as a coach, and I've already made a video on it. I think the biggest one is the fact she puts Erica Wheeler on the floor. I think playing Erica Wheeler is inexcusable, which I've explained in another video, because I think she makes everyone around her worse, other than Kelsey Mitchell. And I think she has completely destroyed the confidence of Caitlin Clark. Before we get on to it though, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. If you guys think the Christie side should be fired, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,500 subscribers by the end of the day. And also leave a like. If we get 500 likes this video, that'd be insane. But you've got to look at Caitlin Clark, even the last few possessions. She was scared to shoot the ball at the end of that game. I've never seen that before. She was scared to shoot that last shot. She was scared to even try to do anything. Like for Iowa, she doesn't pass that ball up to Christie Wallace. She doesn't pass the ball up. Even if she misses, it didn't matter. Like when you talk about good shooters, and this is off a game where she shot 5 of 9 from 3. And look, as annoying as it was that she was shooting 5 of 9 from 3, she had 13 assists. She set a franchise record for assists with like a minute to go in the third quarter. With 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, she had set the franchise record. It was looking like she was on track to breaking the WNBA assist record, and then you take the ball out of her hands and give the ball to Miss Max Contract herself, Erica Wheeler, who might be the worst value per dollar player in the history of basketball. But I mean, she's the worst value dollar per coach in the history of basketball as well, and that includes Darvin Ham getting paid millions. But if you watch this game and you're watching the other games, Caitlin Clark has been as great as she is as a floor general. That is all she is. Because these sets are garbage. Like, these sets she's being ran, there's no actual offense being ran. There's no, when she has the ball in her hand, they might run some stuff. The elevator screens I don't really mind too much, but they run the same pin down play 6 possessions in a row. It doesn't work. It works the first time. It doesn't work the next 5 times. And it's just, you're looking at a player who has lost the kind of swagger that she had in college. Like, that type of confidence. Like, she had the confidence to shoot anything. And the worst part is that her percentages are now up. And you're like, okay, maybe, just maybe, she should be given a bit more of a green light to do something. But every time Caitlin Clark gets on a roll, she didn't get pulled out today, but in the last game, she went on a roll and got pulled out. Or not the last game, sorry, the one before that, the Mystics game. She went on an individual, 7-0 run and got pulled. She's dominating the game. She sets a franchise assist record with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, and she no longer is allowed run. She's no longer being told to run the point. She wasn't scoring particularly well through 3 quarters, but it was the best passing game in the history of your franchise. Who gives a damn? You were up 15 points from her running the point. Why did you take her off the point? You can see her second guessing everything. She doesn't even have the confidence to pass the ball to her teammates half the time anymore because they can't catch the ball. And it is just, you can't play like that. You can't play with the freedom needed to play the way Caitlin Clark plays if you're worried that every second possession you're not going to touch the ball, that you're worried that for 8 straight possessions you may not touch the ball, that you might shoot the ball twice in the fourth quarter. And worst part is that shooting the ball twice in the fourth quarter is fine. If she's being double teamed and her gravity's being used, or she's playing as a pass first point guard, that's fine. But when you take her off that as well, and you make her, and you go back to Caitlin stand in that corner, it is just incompetence. It is incompetence. And this is a rookie that has the potential to be the best guard. Probably not Taurasi. Let's just say other than Taurasi. The best guard since Taurasi. You've got the potential to have a Sue Bird level floor general who scores way better than Sue Bird. That is what Caitlin Clark's ceiling is. And you've got a coach that doesn't want her to do either. She doesn't want her to do either. Look, through 3 quarters, 11 points, 13 assists. Unbelievable. I was like, that is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So I'm just sitting there, I was thinking, cool. I'm cool with her not shooting. People are like, she needs to shoot more. She then goes in the fourth quarter, bang, bang, to start off the fourth. And you're just like, okay, maybe she has it. Maybe she has it. She shot the ball twice towards the end of the game. One, in fairness, was a miss, in and out. Tough shot. I think it was down 2 to put them up 1. Or was it maybe a tie and she missed it? The other, I can't even remember the other time she shot. But she was just froze out of the game. She was froze out of the game because every time she's doing well, they make sure that not only she's in the game, and she's running the show. And that's not on Erica Wheeler, by the way. That is on Christie sides. That is on Christie sides. And you're watching, and like I've talked, if you want to talk about like some of the decisions she made throughout the game, I've already made that video. But like, you look at a player like Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was probably the most genuinely confident player you have ever seen. I can't remember any players that have been more like supremely self-confident as Caitlin Clark has been. And like, people are going mad being like, oh, Caitlin Clark didn't take over the game. She's being told to stand in the damn corner. I'm sorry. How, like, do you want her to just say, screw you, coach, I'm doing me? If she does that, she's probably going to get subbed off. The reality of this situation is that Caitlin Clark is being molded into being just like every other WNBA player. She's being molded into just being just your average WNBA guard. And the problem is that if you're watching these games, she plays at a pace teams can't deal with. When the Indiana Fever are able to get out and run with her orchestrating it, they play at a pace that has never been seen before in female basketball, just like Iowa do. If you can surround Caitlin Clark with players that can play at the speed Iowa did, but more talented. Like, you can find a more talented wing than a Kate Martin who will run and just play there, who will run and will get some scores. You can find a Temi Fagbenle. You can find a better player than Hannah Stulke or Monica Sinano. You can keep Aaliyah Boston because a lot of times she trails quite well. And then the rest of the four can run. All you need to do is surround Caitlin Clark with runners and play the game at a breakneck speed, because she can play 40 minutes. She can play 40 minutes at this speed. And if throughout her career, she'll be able to play 35 plus minutes at this speed. And you've got one of the players there in Celeste Taylor. You need to surround Caitlin Clark with people that will help her game, because it will. I'm looking at these games. This team is at their best when they're running. You keep Aaliyah Boston as an insurance option, just like a Monica Sinano who didn't run, just to be 100 times better version of her. You keep Aaliyah Boston because Aaliyah Boston can be a superstar beside Caitlin Clark. She really can when it slows down. But you just get defensive runners as the remaining three and just tell them to run. Caitlin Clark will find them. Keep Temi. That is a team that has a chance of winning the damn championship, because no team can play at that pace for 40 minutes, including the Fever right now. The Fever aren't in good enough shape to do that. There's one player that can, and it's Caitlin Clark. You've got to do it. And even if you're not letting Caitlin Clark shoot 40 times a game, fine. You have to build a team around Caitlin Clark. You have to build a play style around Caitlin Clark. Because if you look at the times when the Fever look good this year, when they look good as a team, everything has gone through her. Everything has gone with speed. But no, the coach makes sure as soon as things go well, Caitlin, give the ball to Erica. Give the ball to Erica. She's our max contract player. It is so frustrating to watch, because the most exciting player in female basketball history is Caitlin Clark. She's the most exciting player in the history of female basketball. She is more Steve Nash than Steph Curry. But the thing is that we saw what happened when you gave Steve Nash old Shaq. As good as Shaq was, even still in 2008, 2009, he was still really good. But when you gave Steve Nash Shaq, we saw how bad Steve Nash was. And we saw how good he was with Amare, with Sean Marion, and how big a mistake that was. Don't let Christie sides ruin what could be the most fun basketball to watch. Everyone still to this day loves the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns. Why? Because they played at a breakneck tempo. And that is what the Indiana Fever have the potential to do. Fire her. And you don't need to fire her now. She's not going to get fired before the Olympic break. Find a coach in the mold of a Mike D'Antoni. Find a coach that just wants to play this up-tempo pace of basketball. And trust me, this team is going to not only win more games, but is going to be the most exciting team ever seen in female basketball.